Welcome to TWALE TV Sports. Mo Salah, is he staying or is he going at Liverpool? And what are the implications of his shenanigans with the manager Jurgen Klopp on the touchline? And Slot, is he the real deal? Is he a big deal? Well, we would have to wait and see. And then, of course, my team Chelsea taking on Tottenham on Thursday. We'll be right back. It's TWALE. Welcome back to TWALE TV Sports. Well, before I go into it, a fan yesterday was telling me that because I was, given, appraisal kind of to Mikel Arteta for doing so well at Arsenal in the 4 years he's been there, that even though he spent about 700 million quid. And then the fan came back to say, excuse me, I mean, the way he phrased the sentence, I can tell the brother is a Nigerian. He goes, I have to read it from the, I have to. He goes, please stop that. I found that very funny. Please stop that. What has he achieved? Nothing. He's got a good team together. Apart from that, nothing. And I do have to agree with him. Seriously, because if at the end of the season, Arteta wins nothing, the pressure might start to build. Because all he's achieved is, congregating a solid team, a title-winning team, that should have been winning title if Pep Guardiola is not here. So he's done really well. But what the fan has suggested actually made a lot of sense, because with 700 million quid and 4 years in charge and all you've won is FA Cup, excuse me, it doesn't take long before the patience runs out with the fans and with the board maybe. But I think the Arsenal board are solidly behind Arteta. So we leave that. But the fan has made a good point, because he actually said it took Jurgen Klopp 4 years to actually, implant his ideology. But then when he did, he won everything on the 4th year. And that was true. If you check the records, Jurgen Klopp, he didn't win nothing at Liverpool for 4 years. But when he did, he won Champions League, he won Super Cup, he won the league, he won everything in 18 months. So maybe Arteta is going to repeat the same and then win everything in the next year or two. We'll have to wait and see. But the fan, thank you for bringing that up. Arteta hasn't achieved much apart from putting together a solid team. You are absolutely right. I thought I'd bring that on. Now, going to Mo Salah. Now, it's been rumored, is he going? Is he going to the Saudi Pro League? Is he staying? My gut feeling is, Mo Salah has already left. Okay? If you watch his demeanor, his body language, since he came back from AFCON with that injury, it seems it's the injury that, creates this lack of form or drop in form, or this lackluster performance he's been coming up with in the last, few weeks. But the reality is, I think his mind is split. Whenever we hear these things, like little, oh yes, is he going, is he not going? No, we didn't hear them by accident. It was intentional to get us to know at least exactly what is going on. So people behind the scene who are pulling the plugs definitely knows that there is a discussion going on between Mo Salah's agent or Mo Salah and his family or whatever and the Saudi Pro League. And because he's going to be the first son of the soil for Saudi Pro League, the first Arab superstar to actually come and grace the league. So I think there must have been some agreement in place for Mo Salah to come at the end of the season. But the way we're being told is, oh yes, he might not go this season, or there's no demand or request from the Saudi Pro League. So if there's nothing, Salah is not going to pull the plug. He's going to stay till next year. Excuse me, say that to yourself, not to me. I think Salah is going at the end of this season. But regarding the drama that took place on the sidelines with Jurgen Klopp, I think we should make a big deal out of that. That happens every day in football. Don't forget, it's a man's game. It's physical. It's tough. Footballers are generally ruffians. Whether you like that or not. So I can even say they're thugs. The way they behave sometimes. So if Mo Salah, kind of lost it and was doing what they do normally on training and in the dressing room in front of the public, I think that's the only thing wrong. And that it can be pardoned for that. And I love the way Jurgen Klopp dealt with the whole thing. He just played it cool at the press conference. And now that's it. Because that's exactly how it should be dealt with. is done and done, dusted. Him and Mo Salah will put arm around each other's shoulder again and they'll carry on. It's men's game. Footballers are not your typical mommy's boy. They are really tough guys who engage battles all the time. They see football games as battle. In fact, Mourinho referred to football games as war. So for Mo Salah to kind of slightly or indirectly disrespect the manager by having a go, but you could imagine, such talent sitting on the bench. You could imagine he must have been fuming for the 70, 80 minutes he was on the bench. He was just upset that he's been brought on for the last 10 minutes or so, and he had to show his reaction to the manager. That tells the character of a winner, the character of a real winner. He won't take nothing less. He wants to play. But excuse me, Mo Salah, you haven't been delivering. Your performances in the last few games have not been the best. We can't prosecute you for that. You've been a genius over the years. So we leave that and let that bury us that. Anyway, well done to Young Club for dealing with that very nicely. Now, let's go to Mr. ARNE SLOT from Feyenoord, superstar from the Dutch league. This is my take. It might sound a bit, harsh, but Dutch league is a B league compared to Premier League. Okay, it's a B league. Because you're so successful in a Dutch league does not give you the freedom to think you're coming to Liverpool and, create magic. It doesn't work that way. You're not even experienced enough to manage in the Premier League. You've been managing in, Eredivisie. With all due respect to the Dutch football followers and their fans and all that, your league is nothing compared to Premier League. And not until ARNE SLOT comes here and prove himself. You would have to prove yourself. A lot of managers have come to this league, spectacularly talented managers have come to this league and have failed. Okay? It's the best league in the world. There are so many things you need to experience to be able to say, yes, I'm a Premier League manager. I'd rather Liverpool go for an experienced, Premier League manager than, trying. But I'll never query Liverpool's way of doing things. They've always been, very modest and very professional the way they do things. They go very quietly. When they're buying players, you don't know. They just buy the player. When they are doing anything, they keep it under the wraps until it's done. So I suspect they must have done diligent research to find out that this guy, ARNE SLOT, is the perfect fit for Liverpool. But don't let's get carried away. Okay, don't let's get carried away. He has to come here and prove himself. He has to prove that he can actually, compete with, the remaining of the, English Premier League managers. He can, you have to come and, compete. You have to prove it. Let's see how you exchange your wit, your wisdom, your tactical genius. He has to prove that. And no matter how good you are, if you haven't done that, you still haven't done it. So he has to do it. Okay, because if you look at history, there's hardly any aspiring manager given the top job and then suddenly become successful. They hardly make it. They hardly make it. If you're very good as a manager, aspiring, and you're suddenly thrown this top job, these so-called big clubs, the Manchester Uniteds, Madrid's, Barcelona's, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, it can backfire. It's happened so many times in history. What's my friend's name? David Moyes went to Manchester United, highly recommended by Sir Alex Ferguson. He was even given 6 years contract. It failed. After a few months or 10 months, he left. Okay, the same thing with Mark Hughes, Manchester City. It didn't happen for him. The same thing with Nuno Espirito dos Santos. He went to Tottenham. It didn't happen for him. So this guy, and the same thing with, there's this guy, what's his name? Christian Gross. He came from Switzerland, top coach in the 90s. Everybody was expecting miracle. It failed spectacularly. So I would be very cautious, Liverpool fans and everybody just screaming and slot and slot. Anyway, that's that tonight. Let's catch up tomorrow. I need to come and update on the games, Chelsea, Tottenham on Thursday, and a lot of other things that we need to update you on regarding going forward with our channel. Thank you so much for listening. And it's hasta la vista, baby. Ciao. It's TWALE.